According to the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Boris Johnson, Russia plans the biggest war in Europe since 1945. Hearing things like that beyond the stock market is a terrifying thing just across the globe. The repercussions of this, the ripple effect will be huge. I watched Biden's press conference on Friday where he pretty much said we expect fully for Russia to invade Ukraine, and if they invade Ukraine, we're going to war. Scary, scary stuff. And today's video, as usually on a Sunday, I would do the look ahead for the week ahead, what stocks to pick and stuff like that. Tomorrow, the USA stock market is closed, so I will do that video tomorrow. Today's video is just going to be about what happens if we go to war. What is the crack, everyone? Welcome back to Buy Wholesale. I hope, of course, you're all well. I'll try to keep the tempo reasonably uplifted. However, there's really nothing good about this. I'm going to keep all the gaping memes and stuff to a minimum. Let's just get stuck into it. If you just type Russia, war, anything like that at all, it's just constant live updates. They've been doing testing. Russia are saying there's nothing happening, nothing to be wary of. But it does beg the question, why move all your military personnel into these areas that are so close to Ukraine? The intelligence from the EU and America are saying it is going to happen any day now, and really the ball is in Putin's court. What way will they play it? Will they go to war? Will they want this? Will they want to create this conflict? Is anyone's guess, and only they know. I personally don't think that the EU and America, although you have to be firm, I think that perhaps they're almost poking the bear, and some of the tone and the language, it's almost as if Putin doesn't do this, it shows weakness, and it's just a scary situation to be in. And I'm not obviously happy about this at all in any way, shape or form, even outside of the stock market. But I thought I'd maybe settle some nerves. What does this mean in terms of the stock market? Well, on this channel, we've been covering a lot of risks over the last sort of 12 months. It's been one hell of a game across the board. We've done well. We've kept the cash balance high, as we talked about over the last maybe 3 weeks. Sort of felt that there was maybe a potential bottom. We've seen a bit of a reversal in the S&P, all the things that were showing positive signs. And we have seen a bit of a rally up until this news really started ramping up. So I've, from being a sort of a third invested, I'm just slightly over half invested. So I've still got a nice considerable cash pile. Still got about 40% of my cash just sitting there ready to go at any given time. When I look at my portfolio, some of the longer holds like the ABML and the Argo, the ones that have really tanked hard, I haven't topped up that much over the last 4 or 5 months. Nibbles here and there at different support levels, but generally speaking, I'm content with them. My plan was always to double down on these positions, so if they go more to gape, I'm okay with that. The only ones that in the initial, when I look at my portfolio, I go, oh God, I wouldn't want these to go to gape, is the Codal and my Primary African Minerals. So the mining sector, they're doing very, very well, but we've got significant news hopefully coming out in the next 4, 5, 6 weeks. So I don't want to be out of the positions, but I am nervous about those positions. But the rest of my portfolio, I'm okay. And I sort of would say to anyone, look at your portfolio way up. Where would it be hard to be taking a beating, and what way you're going to do it, as we always talk about in this channel. But what happens to the stock market during a war? So look, this here is pretty much saying don't leave the market, and I would always say that anyway. I mean, this risk was always coming over the last sort of 2-3 weeks. If you've been keeping an eye on it, and we've covered it on the channel, this was a risk. So I feel like I'm prepared for it, so I'm okay with it. I just thought I'd just share this because you don't want to be out of the market. You don't want to be too fearful. Look at the examples of this here: 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months later. Pearl Harbor back in the day. You know, not huge losses on the S&P here. Generally speaking, all positive enough. The Cuban Missile Crisis, look at that. You take that over 12 months all day long. So there is a bit of a mixture here, you know, you can see, but generally speaking, if you look at it over a year, there's very little apart from 9/11, and you can see the ones that are highlighted here that you're massively down. Now bear in mind where the sentiment of this market is. We're not huge down, we're down about 10% on the year. So you know, it's not like these are all-time high market and it's pulling back massively. What I'm trying to say, guys, is I don't feel there's any need to be completely out of this market. War, as much as it's bad, doesn't necessarily mean it'll be bad completely for the stock markets. There's always going to be winners, there's always going to be losers. And we have stuff that is really massively being beaten down. So, I mean, you have to also ask yourself, how much more can these things get beaten down? Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a sell-off on Tuesday again because of all this tension that's riding. But once we go to war and we understand where it's at and get a flavour for it potentially, it will settle. And then on the flip side, if he was to come out and go, we were only doing military tests and that's all we ever were doing, this is just some sort of crazy show of strength, and then it all calms down, then the thing will go back to the moon. So there's positives and negatives. You don't know what way it's going to go. It's a flip of a coin. As usual, I just say manage your expectations, guys. Be prepared for the worst, but hope for the best. There is obviously commodities that you could go into. I've started to look at the gold now. It's sort of in and around the 1890 position, a close of play. To me, that's maybe a point of watch. Let's see what way it goes. If it gets above that and builds support, I'm going to go long on gold. Waiting for a bit of a pullback potentially to go long on gold. Gold's something that I'm looking at. I'm also looking at the 10-year treasury due to the interest rates. All these things we'll talk about. Like I said, the purpose of this video is to say it is scary what you're reading. You may be feeling very nervous. But in my opinion, as long as you've got some sort of managed risk and you've got a bit of pot, you're not A and B and you're trying to be careful, this could be an opportunity to be buying dips, good dips. The things are down a lot, so I wouldn't be panic selling. I would kind of go, if you're down on things, I would just go, right, let it go. Just see where it would go. Don't be buying the dips initially, maybe let it settle. Buy the dips in time. You could also open up a short position on the likes of an S&P if you feel it's going red, things we cover on the channel. That's how I'm going to see out the next week or so. I'm really fingers crossed that this doesn't go, not even for the stock market, just for in general, the ripple effect this will have. I mean, Germany, 60% of its energy is provided from from Russia. Ukraine is the 5th biggest supplier of wheat. The repercussions of this all across the world. If Russia gets support from China, China is a massive importer of all goods. So the ripple effect will be huge. Inflation, energy costs, all this will increase. It's just scary, guys. Just mind yourself. Maybe say a prayer if you're into that kind of thing. And yeah, hopefully, you know, we get out of this because it's been a rough couple of years. And to be honest, I'm just devastated that the world is in the state that it's in. So that's sort of a message. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll try and pick some winners. God, that's going to be a good video. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit alert button to get up to date and see how the hell I can pick any winners in this mess. But yeah, that's the video. If you're interested in supporting the channel, there is links down there, the course and all that. You know how I roll, baby. I'll catch you tomorrow.
Yeah. Coincidence. Yeah. Coincidence. Yeah. Coincidence. Something that happens by chance, I think not.